For a refresher, then you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to go over the basics of using Mathematica. So go ahead and start by opening up Mathematica on your computer so you can work alongside me. When you first launch Mathematica, you should see the welcome screen. From here, you can create a new Mathematica document called the Notebook by clicking New Document and then selecting Notebook from the drop-down menu. Notebook in Mathematica, you'll see a plus sign with a horizontal bar and a blinking cursor. This horizontal I-beam means that we are ready to create a new cell. The plus sign is the Cell Insertion Assistant, and clicking on it brings up a menu that allows us to choose the type of input we want. So the first is Freeform Input. Freeform Input is great for new users who aren't familiar with the Wolfram language in Mathematica because it lets you enter input using plain English commands. So go ahead and click your mouse under the Freeform Input subsection we made. And then click the equal sign on your keyboard to create a new Freeform Input cell. Then let's go ahead and type graph y equals 2x minus 7. And then hold down the Shift key and press Enter, or hit Enter on your numeric keypad. When you hit Shift plus Enter together, Mathematica sends your input through the internet to our servers with this freeform input style, and then it translates it to Wolfram language, which you can then see directly below the input, and returns the result. In this case, the plot of the line. If you place your cursor over the Wolfram language that was returned, you should see a little pop-up that says Replace Cell with this input. When you click on this, the freeform input is replaced by the Wolfram language equivalent of your input. Now we can start to make changes. So for example, let's change the -7 to a -2, and then press Shift-Enter to see how it affects the graph. Again, when we're using the Wolfram language, we don't need the internet connection. When we're using the freeform input, we do, because that's how it parses that language into an actual input and an output. Let's enter another freeform input, but this time we'll use the Cell Insertion Assistant. So click the plus sign on the left and select Freeform Input. Then we're going to type integral of cosine of 2x and press Shift-Enter to evaluate. To the right of the freeform input line, you'll notice a little plus sign. When you click on this, Mathematica retrieves additional information about the result from Wolfram Alpha that might be of interest, such as step-by-step solutions, or solving this indefinite integral or a plot. When you're done exploring, you can click the plus sign again to hide those results. Now let's click on the output and you'll see the suggestions bar pop up, which suggests some things you might want to do next. To hide this bar, you can click on the X icon, and if you want to see it again, just go ahead and click on the arrow. One of the suggestions made by the suggestions bar is to simplify our results. Let's go ahead and click on this option, Simplify. Mathematica simplifies our expression to cosine of x times sine of x. Now let's click the suggestion plot, and we can see the results from that as well. So we started with a freeform input, and the suggestions bar helped us simplify, then plot those results without us needing to know any Wolfram language at all. 1. If you give Mathematica an exact input, it's always going to return for you an exact output reduced as much as possible. Now maybe you're wanting the numerical approximation, so we can click numerical value in the suggestions bar to get a numerical result. Now notice the function is capital N, which means numerically approximate, and what we want to numerically approximate is enclosed by those square brackets. If you want to change the level of approximation to 100 digits, we can simply add a comma and 100 after what we are numerically approximating, and then reevaluate with the Shift-Enter. You can also get a numerical approximation by providing an approximate input. So if you change the input to 16.0 divided by 728, Mathematica returns the result as a numerical approximation as well. Next, let's learn about variable assignments. We're going to create a variable called a and give it a value of 5 by entering a equals 5. Now notice the variable a is in blue. Mathematica doesn't recognize that variable yet, But once you hit Shift Enter to evaluate the cell, the color for the variable changes to black because A now has been assigned that value of 5. Now you can use the assigned variable for other calculations, so go ahead and enter 3A plus 1, and then press Shift Enter to evaluate it, and you get the desired result of 16. That variable assignment will remain while Mathematica is running, but you can remove it. You can use the clear command, so enter clear with a capital C, so capital letter on the function name, square brackets around what it is you want to calculate. So you want to clear A, and then hit Shift Enter to calculate. Now you can notice the A has changed from black back to blue, and when you reevaluate 3A plus 1, Mathematica gives you that result of 3A plus 1 or 1 plus 3A as well. All right, so let's say now you want to solve an equation. So type solve with the capital S and then open square bracket, and then we'll say 3y plus 12 is set equal to 0. Now when we assign a variable above, we can use a single equal sign because we are defining A to be 5. In this case, we want to solve for y where the left-hand side is set equal to the right-hand side, but just for this one calculation. So when we are trying to solve and find a solution for y, we use two equal signs. So equal equals 0, and then we want to solve for y, so type comma y, close that square bracket, and then we hit Shift Enter, and Mathematica will solve this equation for y.